I gotta like turn on my monitor just so I can get some face lighting.
I hear you, man. How's everything with you, man? You staying safe?
Yeah, it's just it's exhausting, man. Like my wife being out of work and my kids being out, my daughter being out of school, and then just being so overly cautious about everything. It just feels like all your senses are on high alert, and there's so much stress. The cabin fever mixed with people left and right getting it, and we're right next to ground zero. We're right next to New York, so I got friends who are getting it. What the fuck is on my hat? That's all I can see. Here we go. We got friends getting it. We got people who are getting sick, and it's just scaring me. My in-laws are in their mid 70s to late 70s, and they got COPD and diabetes and stuff. So it's like it's a scary time.
That is. I don't know anyone with it personally, man. So let me ask you something. I'm just looking at my phone. It's plugged into the charger.
Yeah.
This fucking people that the habit. Are they like seriously ill and shit like that? Or are they cool? Or if you don't mind me asking.
No, they're chilling. So far, and I think it's really early in the game though. My boy, Nick Heller, who has the Instagram account New York Nico, he's got it. He's in New York. He does a lot of New York lifestyle shit, and he went on live and was talking about having that shit and how he's fucked up with it, and he seems a little bit fucked up, but not like OD crazy, And I just saw that Scarface has it now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, I mean, even today, I went real quick to the supermarket, and there was, people were there. There was a good amount of people there. And when I got home, I took all my groceries out, and I literally, with a Lysol wipe, wiped everything down. just shit that I never thought I would do in my life, because I'm not that paranoid of a person, but this is very real,
Yeah, man. I don't know if this is like rude to say, but why do I assume that Scarface isn't healthy? Is it just the way he raps, or what?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He seems heavy-winded, like, you know what I mean? I feel like I don't think he was a track and field, you know what I mean? But hopefully he's good. I'll pray for him. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he got in. There's a lot of guys who surprised me, who they got in shape, and then there's a lot of people who who do this music shit, and people live an unhealthy lifestyle. Everybody eats poorly, but who knows, man? That's the one thing that fucks me up is my dietary habits.
Yeah, no, you're right. I did see that Scarface did lose a lot of weight. Shouts to the legend, man, super legend. I'm hoping for the best for him. Yeah, man. Let me ask you something, man. And I ask this to my friends who go on tour a lot, because I have a lot of rapper friends too. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
How unhealthy is touring for you? And also, do you almost like dread it? Because I wonder, like, how do you eat healthy when you're always on the go? You know what I mean? It's like
the whole act of touring is unhealthy and shitty from beginning to end, with everything. As far as the stress and the anxiety of being about to go. And keep in mind, I'm 41 years old now. There's a lot of young guys who are doing it, so it's a whole different experience for them. But I'm 41 now, and just the anxiety of being about to leave is stressful. And then when you're out there, people don't understand. It's not all fucking glamour and glitz. You'll go to a town, you'll perform, you go from the hotel to the venue, you rock. You're around a whole bunch of people who, and even not in the COVID-19 times, but you're around people who are coughing and they're spitting in your face when they talk and shit, and they're sick. You're giving dap to people, all of this shit. Motherfuckers are drunk, coming out the bathroom after holding their dick in their balls and want to give you a pound or fucking stupid shit like that. So you're at the venue, you get all of these germs. That's why Self and I started bringing our own mics, our own wireless mics, because I don't want to be having a mic up to my lips that, 13, 14 people before me rocked that night. That's disgusting.
I never remember that. Yeah.
Then we get in, we pack up everything. We get to the hotel at, who knows, like 1:32 a.m. and maybe sometimes 3. And then there's sometimes where if we have a long drive, we got to get up like 3 or 4 hours later, jump in the van, and everybody's got to drive for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then, you know, as far as like touring Canada, like we live on Tim Hortons. There's nothing else. There's Tim Hortons and there's gas station food. You know, and as much as and you'll be in the van or the bus and you're bored as fuck, so you start snacking. And you're like somebody stops, take a piss break, and you're like, oh shit, all right, that Almond Joy right there is calling my name, bro. And you know, it's rough, man. And even if you adhere to a certain diet and a lifestyle, you go on the road and most of that shit goes out the window, man. There's no meal prep.
Like, I wonder how, like, because I talk to everyone I talk to pretty much says the same shit. They're like, you know, we try to stay good and meal prep and go to, you know, a grocery store and cut up rotisserie chicken and all that type of shit. But eventually, like, especially if you drink, like, no one gets loaded the next day. It's like, man, I'd love a salad right now. I mean, maybe some people do, but for the most part, you don't, right? So I almost fear touring because, you know, I already have bad habits. Not really much anymore, and I don't drink that much, or like heavy. I'm pretty cool nowadays, but, you know, I'm a little bit of a, I don't know how to say this without sounding whatever, but I'll get on a bad tear. You know what I mean? Like, you know, day 7, I might do some stupid shit. I might make bad decisions. You know what I mean? Especially now, I got, you know, I'm all settled. I got a family. I don't do crazy shit anymore. And I could just see, like, day 7, day 8, me just turning it into a rack. And, like, you know, I can't imagine 30 days. Like, who comes home 30 days, like, in shape and, like, feeling good? Yeah, didn't make one mistake. Fucking, that was perfect. Yeah, fucking still feeling great. Like, me personally, I know I would have done a million crazy things. Like, you know, it seemed, yeah.
You know, the thing is, too, it's funny because pre-tour, we're like, yeah, I'm gonna get my running shoes, I'm gonna get my gym outfits, throw those shits in the suitcase, and then, you know, like, and then, you know, for the first 4 or 5 days, you're like, yeah, let me hit this hotel gym, you know, and then 7 days into this shit, you're like, damn, I'm tired, man, I gotta skip the gym today. Your boy calls you on the hotel phone, and you're like, yo, what's good? You want to go down there? Nah, man, I'm not today, yo. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Like, and tomorrow turns into a week later, and so on. And, you know, and the other fucked up thing is, too, I don't drink at all because I can't, because I have pancreatitis. I almost died from it. Okay. Self-titled drinks. So self-titled, you know, self-titled's my best. Hey, what up, Joe Scudder? Self-titled's my best friend and my business partner. So we tour together. So Self will get hammered, and then after the show, I'll be like, I want to go back to the hotel because I know I'm going to make bad decisions. And he'll be like, nah, bro, we got to stop at Wendy's. We got to stop here. And I'm like, all right, but I'm not getting anything. And then we get to the drive-in window, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'll just get this or that. So you know, just being around it, you make bad decisions, you know?
Yeah, no, I never even thought about that. That's actually kind of smart, man. Well, really smart to bring in your own mics. Like, and it's not just because, obviously, it's not just the 13, 14 people before you. It's all the props they were giving to the people in the crowd and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, man. It's disgusting. And here, I'll show you right now. This is my shit right here. It's cool. You can get the shit hooked up and shit. Like, my mic, it's got Blackbeard on it. It's got my logo. Nice. You know,
get the handheld, man. The handheld. Who would have thought, man? Just going right back to the old roots, man. You know, with the little ice cream dome mic, man.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, A+ from Souls of Mischief is a good friend of mine, and he told me a story that they did these shows, and there was all these openers and shit, and then like right as soon as they started, he started rocking, and he felt some moisture on his lip. And he looked, and there was a big, like, loogie on the tip of the mic that was rubbing on his lips. And I was like, no, I can't do it.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, no, even like the battle events I go to, and I'm not like a germaphobe. I don't even, but I mean, I feel like everyone is going to be after this, but, you know, each battle I do, there's like at least 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, sometimes plus people in the crowd. And if you're a nice guy like me, you like to go mingle with people and show your love and appreciation. So I'm dapping up and how do you say it to every person? Hey, sorry. And, you know, like they don't, see, you almost have to. So I think next time I'm just going to wear gloves.
Yeah, you wear gloves. But the thing is, man, you got to be unapologetic because, I mean, if people don't understand that, I'll give them the pound or I'll give them the chicken wing. And if people don't understand that, I mean, it's like I don't know what to tell you, man. It's like we're grown adults. And before this COVID shit happened, I stopped doing that. And I stopped because we used to go out in the crowd and we used to meet all the fans and spend, and this is for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And we got sick every time. And in the middle of my tour, I'd be fucked up. I'd go to fucking urgent cares because I'm like having fucking walking pneumonia. And I'm like, yo, not only is this fucking me up in my health, but it's fucking my fans up because I've missed shows before because I've been so sick. So it's like, yo, I'm not taking you guys. They're going to have to understand I'm not being a dick. I'm not being pretentious. I just can't have you being drunk. And, you know, when somebody's talking in your ear, they're this close to the side of your face, spraying the side of your face with spit because they're like, yo, bro, I fucking blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's disgusting, man.
Dude. And then they want to rap to you, and then they're basically spitting in your earlobe. It's like, you need to hear this song, man. Let me put this cell phone up to your ear in this huge, loud club. I'm like, yeah, man, I can hear every word. This is so deep.
It's crazy, man. They have such a skewed vision of that. When did you start with the battle shit? When was it originally?
I would have been 20 years old, so I'm 34 now. So yeah, 20 years old. I was rapping around here, just doing music and shit like that. And then I seen one battle pop off, and I kind of just jumped in the circle. Back then, it was a little different. There wasn't really like a preparation or nothing like that. We just kind of did it outside, and then I did it, and I don't remember anything. It was just like a fight. I was like, wow, did I do good? Everyone's like, man, you killed him. I'm like, what? I started getting all this views and attention. I was like. And then eventually it was doing more than music for me, and so that's what I kind of gravitated to. Although, if it was up to me, I would have liked to have been more as successful as I am, which isn't that crazy or whatever, more off music, because I like doing music more, but you know, I went towards what was working for me, like, you know, most people.
Well, here's my thing. So Self and I have run our own business from the molecular level for the last 20-something years, right? We distribution, manufacturing, everything in between. We hire our own, you know, PR people. We hire our own publicists, all that shit, everything. And the one thing I've always said is you know, and originally when I started when I was young, I was in the battle scene too, but you know, it was completely different. It was over beats. It was off the top of your head. You had no idea. But the battle thing was there as well. And the one thing I said to Self, I said, these guys who are battle rapping now are way better lyricists than any rapper who's recording music right now. These guys, the way they put multis together and the thought they put and how clever their shit is far more intricate and intelligent and amazing than anybody who is like, it's like Cannabis. It's like Cannabis set the bar for you guys in '97, and you guys just took that and did nothing else. Like that level of greatness.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree. And
I'm sorry. I don't interrupt. But my point is so with that said, I don't understand why more of you guys aren't making records like Animals. You know what I mean?
So I think that this is what might play a part. Okay, here's an example I gave today to my friend Quake. There's this guy on Instagram named Trey Kennedy. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He always does the dad stuff. He plays like funny dad.
Oh yeah. He's hilarious with the bouffant shit.
Yes, yeah, hilarious. Now most people don't know he's actually a very talented singer too. Makes great songs, writes his own music. Yeah. Has a lot of music. Really good, great artist. Like writes really well and everything. But no one gives a fuck. He doesn't get any type of attention to that. And I think it's because they're all just like, dude, I can't, that's not what I want from you. It's like, I know you was this is what I want from you. I don't want DMX to play a fucking, or to be whatever, you know. So when battle rappers release music, it can be really good, but you know what the fans say? Cool, man, when's your next battle? They want you branded yourself for the most part, and it's terrible, but it's like we spent so many years branding ourselves as battle rappers when we rap and do. Unfortunately, we don't get. They just don't even want to hear it. We could rap about the craziest, deepest shit. Let her so vulnerable, let it all out. They're just like, cool, man, but when's your next battle? It's just like, oh, it's hard to. There's a lot of battle rappers that make really, really good music, but you know what I mean.
The crazy thing is, you know, when I was 16 and 17 years old, and I'd hear Cannabis say those lines, or you know, other guys who said lines that just made me fucking melt at that point, and just like, you know, you die laughing and bug out. There was such a big gap of time where I wasn't feeling that same feeling. And then all of a sudden I would see Disaster or you or one of those guys do a video, and I just melt on the floor, die laughing again. And I was like, yo, this feels like when I was a teenager. This is the same. And I know that's why people fuck with battle rap so hard, because it gives them that feeling that I had back then. And it's like, I want to hear that on record so bad. And actually, the funny thing is, the way I got put up on you, which I'm sure a lot of people did, maybe, I don't know the popularity of it, but your compliment battle.
Oh, nice.
Bro, listen. At first, when somebody's like, yo, you got to hear this battle where they compliment each other, I'm like, this is going to be corny as fuck, man. This is going to be so whack. And when you, bro, there's I don't know if you laugh like this, but there's sometimes where I laugh so hard I get nervous. I'm like, I'm going to have a heart attack. Like, I'm laughing out of control. And I was laughing like that. I was laughing like it hurts laugh at that. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. But yeah.
That means a lot, man. Thank you, man. It's like, it's actually my proudest piece of work too, and I don't really I'm not crazy over my own self. I'm like, oh, I you know, whatever. But it was so fun because it was like writing backwards almost. It was creatively, it was the funnest thing I could ever done, and just like the feeling, it was just making everyone laugh and smile. It was super cool, man. And that's cool. I'm so glad you told me that story, because I did wonder how you came across me, because I've known about you for years. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All my friends would you know, we're always bumping you. You know what I mean? And self-titled, like cool. Vinny and all the, you know what I mean? And so yeah, no, that's really cool, man.
Because of that battle, I checked for everything you did, and you know, it's almost like, it's like wrestling. Like there's people who are diehard fans of it, and they're like, yo, did you see this? And I'm like, nah, I don't follow that shit. But as soon as I saw your shit, I would always check everything you did after that. And I'll tell you what, because I'm not patting myself on the back, but I've been fairly consistent over the years. Part of my inspiration comes, it'll die out. And then I'll watch some battles and you guys say slick shit, and I'll get inspired all over again, and I start writing, you know, so that helps. It's like an ecosystem of hip hop, you know?
Oh man, that's awesome to hear, bro. Yeah. For the people like that may be watching or whatever, okay, one thing that I always sucked at, and I openly admit, even to this day, I'm trying to learn now, it was the business. I could always rap good, and I was always a good battle rapper, but I sucked with the business. I never had a manager. I never had a publicist. I never had a team whatsoever. And there's so many people that are doing it right, and clearly you are, and have been for a while. If you were to give like one piece of advice, just say there's a couple rappers here watching right now, what would you say, man?
Well, first of all, let me preface that by saying I was fucked up with my business for a long, long time. And you as an artist, you get painted an unrealistic idea of what the music industry should be. Everybody has the Puffy myth in their head. Everybody thinks someone is going to show up in a limousine and whisk you away and make all the right moves for you. Everybody thinks they're going to find a manager who's automatically going to be like, okay, bro, 9:30 a.m., you got a photo shoot. Then we're going to this radio station. Then you got to lock in with this big producer. That shit doesn't exist. I changed fucking managers like I changed underwear back in the day. Like it's fucking nuts how much finding a team and what you're saying is almost impossible. So you know what Self and I did? fucking necessity is the mother of invention, and we figured out all these things how to do it ourselves, and it's exhausting, and we're always tired, and we always work harder than anybody we know, and we go fucking crazy, and we experiment with different manufacturers, and we get one part of the CD manufactured in China, and we have it sent to another place to be packaged, and we do all these things. Even when we did touring, we reinvented the wheel with touring with our business model. And so what I'm saying is to these young guys who are listening, or whoever, do everything yourself. Be an island. Be self-sufficient. Don't wait for anybody to put you on. Don't be like, yo, give me a chance. Your chance is you, motherfucker. You are your chance. You are your person. No one's going to save you. No one's going to help you. Get it cracking for yourself. Nobody fucking helped me. I had Paz who helped me out. Paz gave me my biggest fucking alley-oop. And then, so what I did is when Paz gave me the alley-oop, I dunked it. I didn't squander it, and I didn't sit around waiting for Paz and saying, yo, Paz, when you going to bring me on tour? Yo, Paz, when are you going to, and I'm sitting there with my hand out, like, yo, when are you going to help me? When are you going to help me? He's not my dad. He's not my manager. He's not my fucking boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do it yourself. Right. That's what it all boils down to.
Man, I salute that, because I know how much it takes, like, to rap, you know, write your own shit, you know, if you're gonna, like, do everything it takes to be a rapper, and then the whole business too. That must just be like fucking, you know what I mean? Your whole
diabolic.
fucking
diabolic. Look at these handsome fucks. We are dashing, motherfucker. Me and Pat probably got fucking, we probably got the same gene pool of fucking Canadian beaver trappers back in the day. We come from the same club.
Yo, funny story, Diabolic, since you're watching. Yo, shout out Click Matthew. That's my brother, man. He's in here. So he, me and Diabolic were talking one time with my good friend Nino Bless, and me and Diabolic were talking about me and him battling, and he was down and shit like that, and I guess Diabolic was on shrooms, and at the end of the night, he thought that we were conspiring against him. You guys are trying to set me up. You guys are trying to set me up. I knew it. What's going on? Fuck you guys. And it's funny. And but shout out to Shrooms, man. I had a good time just recently. But Diabolic, he's a funny motherfucker, man. He thought we were conspiring against him. He's like, he's like, oh, you guys are planning to take me down, man. I didn't even know him. I just knew him from his music. But
yeah, true fashion.
Good guy, man. Good guy.
Yeah, he's the best. That's my brother right there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I want to see you start making more music, man. I know you probably make music. I'm just saying, you got to let me slide you some beats or something. We got to make some crazy shit, you know?
I would love to, dude. If it was up to me, man, that's what I would do.
Start off light. Start off light. Do something like this. There's no more rules to this shit. Be like, yo, you know what? Every month I'm gonna drop a single. I'm just gonna drop a song and put it up, and then you know, put it out through I don't know if you got digital distribution, but put it out. Go on what the fuck are they called? There's that thing where you can put it up. Whatever, you know those things. They got those sites. But you know, put out a song a month and then do an EP. I'll slide you beats. I'll link you with some of the illest producers. And I'll tell you another thing too. The biggest mistake I think a lot of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to talk down to you. I'm just trying to, you know,
no,
there in the air. Of course, I think one of the biggest things is that people forget is that these kids out here are starving for the most underground, grimy, boom bap hip hop. And every time I start moving away from that, I watch my shit go. And then as soon as I make it grimy and hardcore and lyrical and fucking gangstar Wu-Tang-ish again, they go right back up and they fucking glom onto that shit. They're dying for that shit. The fans, they will tell you, they will show, the results will be there. And every time somebody tries to go off and go away from that fucking formula, they either hit the lottery and they're 1 in 10 billion, or they just suffer a slow fucking decline. And that's what that is.
It's true, man. And those are the motherfuckers that buy 6 shirts, 5 hoodies, buy all your shows. They support, man, them real hip hop heads, man. Let me ask you a question, man. I don't know if you face this, but as you get older, do you find it hard to just write rhymes about like anything? You know, back in the day, you could be like, start a verse off, be like, yo, I'm the best, or the fucking, I'll kill it, blah, blah, blah. But when you get older, it's like, man, I can't just write a rap about being a good rapper anymore. Do you face that at all?
Oh, yeah.
I'm 41. I gotta write a conceptual song. It has to be like a good whatever. Do you care about that at all? Or?
Yeah, well, there's two things that started happening, which is interesting. So first of all, because I have my kids and I have my daughter, and my daughter is the light of my life, and my son is just a crazy little maniac. I'm absolutely in love with my kids, and me changing diapers and talking sweet to them. I don't give a fuck if I'm on here with the entire Wu-Tang Clan. If I'm in front of the Wu-Tang Clan and my daughter's here, I'm talking sweet talk to my daughter. I don't talk, I'm not like, yeah, go get me that. I'm like, hi, baby, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck who it's around, you know? Like, I'm obsessed with my little girl, and she's the best. My son is the fucking best. So it's hard for me to sit down and write in the studio and be like, blow your fucking head off, hang hose by the ceiling by the clitoris rings, and say all this wild shit. And that's one of my lines, hanging hose from the ceilings by the clitoris rings. And I can't believe I wrote some of this shit at one point. And I'm just like, God damn, bro. So it's, you know, now I'm about to drop this album called Where the River Meets the Sea, and it's kind of cathartic for me because it's more, it be like the maturation that I experienced in getting older was really interesting to me, like from a scientific standpoint. Like I'm sitting there, I'm intrigued, and I'm looking at my own self-maturing, and I was like, I want to get into this. I want to delve into this in a non-corny way. So I made this album, Where the River Meets the Sea, talking about my father dying, talking about me almost dying, being in critical condition in the hospital from pancreatitis, my kids being born, what it feels like, all of that shit, but making these dope songs about that. And, you know, I got that out of my system. I did that whole album, and now I'm back to making another album with Stu Bangers, and I'm ripping heads off and talking shit. So at the end of the day, it's a funny transition, but what I notice most with writing now is it's more of a stream of consciousness. You know, it's just all about like associating things in my head. Like I said, I'm Hale Bop. What I say? Leaving all them hollow bodies, dressed in black and purple like the Colorado Rockies, knocking on heaven's door, playing Eric Clapton. Everybody clapping when they hear this Pharaoh rapping. Very scary faction, Perry Farrell, something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all just a stream of consciousness, and it's more about painting a mood and the imagery more so than even, you know, doing anything else. And that's the interesting direction that I've been going in. I don't know if that answers your question. I went off on the whole thing.
No, it totally does, man. That was perfect, man. I know what you mean. Sometimes I think like, you know, like I could write 7 songs in one day, you know, 10 years ago or whatever, because it didn't matter what I wrote about. I'd be like, suck my dick, fucking bitch, bust, you know, all this other shit. But now it has to mean something. But maybe that's right. Maybe I need to like do a project where I get all the real stuff and, you know, relevant stuff in my head out of my system, so I can go back to, you know, bouncing that old style a little bit too. Also, because it's almost a discouraging thought. I was like, man, am I gonna drop an album now? Like, what am I gonna rap about? It's like I'm a totally different person now. But I think in a way, it's almost the best time ever for me to drop one, because I know so much now. I'm so grown now. I'm so mature now. I've went through so much, and I feel like I'm smarter than I've ever been. And I think I would be more proud of an album I did now than something I did 10 years ago anyway. So even though, you know, it's a piece of work is whatever, but I think I'm excited to really work on music, man. It's really weird, like, to be, I know 34 is mad young, but still, like, just I've been rapping forever.
Yeah, but if you got kids, that matures you in a way like nothing else in life. How old are your kids?
My stepdaughter is 8 and my son is 2.5.
Yeah, when you have that role and you step into that role as a stepfather and a father, that just naturally, instinctually changes and alters your course. I mean, it fucking, you know, is probably reconfiguring your fucking electrodes and fucking, you know, dendrites and all your fucking neural pathways and shit. And it changes who you are. But the crazy thing is, the interesting thing is the way you could approach writing now is almost in a frame of reflection. Like, God damn, look at all the shit that I've been through, you know, like look at all the things that I've seen and I did. When I was writing for this, Where the River Meets the Sea, I got verses that are like, I stay royal like Kennedy, families, minus the trust funds. I come from the place where they bust guns and puff blunts. The wrong side of the track, sagging my slacks with a bag full of cracks, palm full of bag rat. Mom with a bad back, I'm the blue-collar scholar. Holla if you pull yourself from up out of the squalor, seeking dollar, making cream like tikka masala, deepest Kabbalah's or the knowledge when I speak to my father through the air. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about, like, life introspection. And then I launch into this whole big thing about, you know, like lifting my daughter up into the sky to show my father, like fucking the Lion King. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, this is what I did. I wish I could show you this. And I talk about, you know, being in the hospital, not being able to see my father interact with my kids and shit like that. And just, you know, it's real life shit. And the crazy thing is, if you approach, like, let's say you, Pat Stay, if you take all the deepest moments in your life, like certain things about your kids being born, and you try to wrap that up in a poetic way like Nas did on Illmatic when he described the hallways and the projects on New York State of Mind, and you talk about your kids being born in that fashion, or you talk about life in that fashion, that deep, you're gonna, all of a sudden, you're gonna be like, whoa, I found the fucking pathway to what I need to be doing right now. And it floods open. And then before you know it, you're gonna have an album full of that shit, you know?
Real shit, man. No, man, like, yo, that was that's some real ass shit that touched me because you know, I lost my mom not too long ago, just months ago. And I feel that so much.
My condolences.
And I feel that so much. Like, just the thought of, like, no, I won't even get into it, man. But, you know, rest in peace to your father, man. I'm sorry for your loss. I feel you so much. You know, not being able to. My son is only 2.5, so he'll never remember his grandma. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I haven't even been able to write it with my mom yet. In fact, this is probably the first time I really talked about it, like, openly. I wanted to. I mean, of course, I want to write a song about my mom and, like, about the whole situation, but it's like I haven't even had the heart to, you know what I mean? And so maybe that'll be the next step, man. And it's like I've been putting it aside, and not because I don't. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter as much. It's like it takes a lot of courage to fucking speak on.
So let me tell you, when and this is true. I wrote my first song about my father on my last album. It's called Obi-Wan, and peep it whenever you get a minute. And it took me a long time to write it, and I didn't force it, and I didn't do it for anybody but myself. Do it for you. You know what I'm saying? And do it as a, you know, a catharsis, and do it for yourself. And bro, I cried when I wrote it. I was bawling when I wrote it. If it doesn't make you cry when you write it, you're not writing the right shit. And then when I recorded it, and this is a true story, it took me months to record it, because every time I would go in, my voice would be fucked up. I'd crack. I'd lose it. If I listen to this album, or some of the shit that I say on this album, if I listen to it now, I well up, even when I'm playing it for people. Because if it doesn't evoke that emotion in you, you know, crumple it up and rewrite it, and you know, approach it a different way, because you know, you grew up your entire life with your mother, and so you got to kind of harness that energy and some of the complex feelings you're having. When you put it out there and you release that out of your body and you put it into a song and other people can relate to it, you release all of this weight that you're holding on yourself to bond with other people. And then also just to let it go too. You got to let go of that pain, and it sucks. It's horrible, you know, and that's what it is, man.
Yeah, I've approached it a few times, man. I know it's gonna come, man. It'll come when it's time, man. And no, I feel you 100% on that, man. It's definitely gonna be a project that doesn't just, like, you know, at first I almost felt guilty. I was like, yo, how come I can't just write this like this? Like, I have so much emotion about this. I feel so strongly about it. I should be able to write 10 verses on this shit. This is breaking my heart all day, every day. But that's not how it is, because it means so much to you that you can't just, it's not something you can just scribble down. You know what I mean? That's a fucking project. You know what I mean?
It'll come to you. It'll come to you. And then when it does come to you, if it's in the middle of the night and you wake up when you from a dream, or if you're in the middle of a fucking supermarket, or you're in the middle of something, write it down right away. Write the first line, or write a middle line. If you just think of something in your head like, damn, that would be good for her tribute, then write that down. I know Evidence made a real dope song for his mom too, who passed the cancer, and that shit hit me in the heart too when I heard that. And it's fucked up. It's gonna start happening more because when you and I grew up, hip hop was so young. Hip hop has always been a young man thing. But now that we get older, people are starting to die. People we love, people we know, family members, because we're growing up. And it's an ill thing, man. And once you approach that, and once you put it in the right way, you're gonna love it, man. And it's gonna be something too for your kids too. That's the other thing too. My father doesn't have a gravestone, a gravesite to visit. I build monuments to my father through my music all the time, so my kids know. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing that I do.
Yeah, I got a picture of my mom, like right when I walk up the stairs. Like, I got a charcoal painting of her while she was still alive. She had a couple months, right? She had died of cancer, so she had a couple months. So I had it done. This guy in the UK, he drew it, and anyways, I get my son to kiss it and point at her, and nanny, so he remembers her. And I also got a lot of videos that I'll always show him, just so he knows. Yeah. That was one of the biggest heartbreaking things. It's like, man, dude, like my son's name is Calvin. I'm like, man, Calvin, like if you knew what such a fucking beautiful, amazing, loving grandma you had, but you got to keep her alive in different ways. You know what I mean?
So my father died of cancer too, and it's a complex thing because I go on a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes I get mad at him, man, and I'm like, damn, bro, like I'm pissed you didn't take better care of yourself to be here for me when I needed to talk to you about something, or I'm pissed that you're not here for my kids to see you, because my kids are fucking amazing. And it's like, why weren't you a part of that? And when my dad was dying towards the end, he knew it. And he was like, I think I was 33 at the time. And he was like, I was over his house, and he was like, man, 30 years wasn't enough, man. And I fucking just lost it. That was the first time I cried in front of him when it was happening, because he said that. But, same thing, man. I got my father's picture hanging right in the background, somewhere on the desk. A picture of me and him when I was a kid. But, I have a tattoo on my arm that's a ship that I got for him. And I tell my daughter that's Pepe's ship, and he's in there, and all of that shit. So I do the same thing, man. I feel you on that.
That's dope, man.
Word. But the exciting thing is that we're growing and our fans are growing with us, so people relate. Most of these people, I'm not reading these comments. Somebody said my dad died of a heart attack at 25. A lot of these people, they relate to us, and we can go through this together, which is exciting. Like most of these people relate. Or the dope thing is too, bro, let's say you write a song. I got my song about my dad. Somebody's dad passes away. That helps them. You know what I'm saying? They feel that we're there for them. We have a power and a platform that's so dope.
You know what, man? This is the most inspiring conversation, man. I feel like I have to start this song tomorrow, because I didn't even really take that into consideration, man. Like anytime I have a conversation, like I had a conversation with a girl at the gym forever, he'll have that forever. That's more than a one-hit wonder could ever do or whatever. Yeah. So he has these fans for life, because he carried them through shit emotionally, because they were going through some other shit.
It's interesting too, because us as hip hop MCs, Vinny Paz did Razor Blade Salvation. Slugs got 100 songs about shit. We have an advantage over the Temptations, and not taking anything away from their music, but we have an advantage to really like verbalize a really complex wave of emotions that other music genres do not have the ability to do. Like it's such a distinct thing that we can say that other musics can't really. Other music is always vague. It's like fucking, who knows, folk, like I miss you when you're gone, but they can't get into like, like real the fucked up part of it, you know?
Yeah.
It's wild. I heard, I'm trying to remember where I heard it, but I heard some song, somebody talking about like their husband or boyfriend, or boyfriend when they died, and she was like, I'm like, I still have a hamper of your dirty clothes that I can smell you on. And I was like, damn, that's a crazy fucking thing to say.
That
Like,
is.
that's deep. And that was just so profound to me. And we have the ability to do shit like that because of you know, the way we are,
Yeah.
and the type of music we do. Yo, I'm gonna send you some beats, man.
Yeah, please do. Please
Yeah,
do.
shoot me a DM with your email so I can send you some shit, because you know
I will.
I want to hear some shit from you.
I will. 100%.
Okay, bet.
Cool, man.
All
I
right,
uh,
bro.
I
Great
appreciate you
talking with
coming on,
you,
man.
man.
This was a great talk. I hope everyone enjoyed it, man. And yeah, this is a great introduction to you, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, man. I love this conversation. This is what means the most, man. Fuck all the other shit. This is dope.
100%, man. Have a
Much
good
love,
night,
brother.
man. Stay
Stay
safe.
safe, bro.
You and your
All
family.
right,
All right, brother.
you
Peace,
too,
man.
man. Peace.
Peace. How dope was that?